When the sun cast its warm golden rays over the sleepy town of Willow Creek, the community center became a meeting place for stories, laughter, and occasionally, secrets. On one particular Saturday afternoon, a group of local teenagers and young adults gathered inside the cozy event room, where a panel of elders, all over the age of 80, sat ready to share something rare and precious, their greatest life lessons. At the center of the room sat Margaret Blake, age 84. With her crisp white curls and eyes full of wisdom, Margaret had lived through world wars, societal revolutions, and personal transformations. She was the first to speak. "You know," she began with a gentle smile, "when I was your age, I thought love was supposed to sweep me off my feet like a Hollywood movie. But love, real love, it's quieter than that. It's not made of grand gestures. It's made of sitting by someone's hospital bed without saying a word. It's forgiving each other's mistakes, even when you don't feel like it. My husband, Charles, and I were married for 62 years. It wasn't always easy, but the harder days made us stronger. My biggest lesson: don't chase the spark. Chase the warmth." Next to Margaret was James "Jimmy" Turner, a wiry old man with a booming voice and mischievous grin. "I used to think money was the answer to everything," he said, tapping his cane on the floor for emphasis. "Worked 2 jobs in my 20s, saved every penny, bought the biggest house on the block. But let me tell you something. Money can't hold your hand when your heart is broken. Can't hug you when you lose your mama. My son Eddie once asked me if I regretted working so much when he was young. I didn't answer him that day. But now I know I do. I missed his first baseball game, his high school graduation. If I could go back, I'd choose dinner with my family over overtime every time." Beside Jimmy sat Gloria Hensley, who looked like someone's sweet grandmother but spoke with the fire of a preacher. He chuckled. "My advice: stop worrying about what other people think of you. When I was a young woman, I didn't wear pants to work because people said it wasn't ladylike. I didn't travel abroad because people said it was dangerous. I even stayed in a relationship longer than I should have because I didn't want to be judged. You know how many of those people are still around? And the ones who are, they don't remember any of that. I finally wore pants, took a solo trip to Spain at 60, and started painting again. Life is short, too short to live by someone else's standards." The fourth in the group was Elijah Cooper, 86. A retired firefighter with a voice as smooth as a vinyl record. He leaned forward, his hands folded together. "I've run into burning buildings. I've seen death up close. What I learned from all that isn't how to be brave, it's how to be present. People think bravery is doing big things, but sometimes it's just sitting with someone in their grief. It's making a tough call when nobody else will. Don't live for the applause. Live for the quiet moments. Those are the ones that matter." Sitting quietly on the end was Clara Jefferson, a former elementary school teacher with soft eyes and a scarf tied around her neck. When it was her turn to speak, she hesitated before beginning. "My greatest lesson," she said softly. "Say what you need to say before it's too late. I spent 10 years angry with my sister over something I can't even remember now. She passed away before we could make amends. I wrote her letters after she was gone, hoping maybe she could hear me. I don't know if she did. But I do know this: don't let pride keep you from people you love. Apologize. Forgive. Call someone today. Not tomorrow, today." The room was hushed. Even the teens who'd come just to get extra credit sat quietly, eyes wide, soaking it all in. In the back corner, one young man raised his hand. His name was Tyler Grant. "Can I ask something?" he said. "If you could live your life over, what's the one thing you'd do differently?" Margaret responded first. "I wouldn't be so afraid. I passed on opportunities because I doubted myself. I thought I wasn't smart enough, pretty enough, capable enough. The truth is, most of the time, we're the ones putting limits on ourselves." Jimmy nodded. "I'd laugh more. I took life too seriously for too long. I waited until retirement to start enjoying myself. Don't do that. Find joy every day, even on a Monday." Gloria added, "I would have trusted my intuition." So many times I felt something wasn't right, but I ignored it to make others comfortable. Listen to that little voice inside you. It's usually smarter than you think. Elijah smiled. I'd tell the people I love that I love them. More often, more freely. Thought they knew. But sometimes people need to hear it out loud. Clara's voice trembled slightly. I'd take more pictures. Write more in my journal. Time slips by so fast. I wish I had more things to remember it by. The stories continued long into the afternoon. Some were funny, like the time Jimmy accidentally proposed to his wife in a diner because he thought the waitress was his girlfriend. Others were heartbreaking, like Margaret losing her first child and learning to smile again. But all of them were laced with the kind of wisdom that can only come from experience, from living and stumbling and getting back up. One young woman, Megan Thomas, sat with tears in her eyes as she listened to Elijah talk about losing his wife to Alzheimer's. For 2 years she didn't recognize me, he said. But I still brought her coffee every morning. I still read her favorite poem out loud. Because love doesn't stop when memory does. After a while, the room slowly began to empty. Hugs were exchanged, photos were taken, and a few kids even asked for autographs. Not from celebrities, but from the elders they now saw as living legends. Later that evening, the 5 elders remained behind, drinking warm cider and reminiscing among themselves. You think they'll remember any of this? Gloria asked, stretching her back. I hope so, said Elijah. But even if they don't, maybe one day when they're standing at a crossroads, something we said will echo in the back of their minds. Margaret looked out the window at the sun beginning to set. We can't make their choices for them, she said. But we can offer them a map. Whether they use it or not, that's up to them. Clara placed her hand gently on Margaret's. You know what I've learned most of all, she said. That we're never done learning. Not at 20. Not at 40. Not even at 84. They sat together in silence for a moment, watching the sky turn amber and lavender, feeling the weight and beauty of time. In another part of town, Tyler walked home with his earbuds in, but he wasn't listening to music. He was replaying every word he'd heard that day. That night he called his father, just to say he loved him. Megan started writing a journal entry for the first time in years. And others in the group vowed to live a little braver, a little freer. The old folks didn't expect their words to change the world. But they had shared their truths, their regrets, their triumphs, and in doing so had planted seeds in the hearts of the young. And maybe that was enough.